we have made it here to Elkhart and Alliance, and we want to take you on a little bit of a special tour today. We're not going to tour any necessarily floor plans or anything along those lines. We are going to hook up with these guys, and we are actually going to tour the full campus. No one's ever done this before, and the way Alliance has been expanding and doing things, we thought it'd be some value if you're considering buying an Alliance to see how everything goes.
My name is Chandler. I'm one of the regional sales managers here at Alliance RV. Work specifically with the Avenue and Delta line, so two of our newer plants, which we'll get to check out here in a little bit.
All right, Chandler. So we are here with what's starting to become an iconic blue column.
Yeah.
What's behind door number one?
So door number one, this is our corporate office for all of our sales as well as our service people. So half of the building will be the service side as well as half the building will be the sales side. We have 2 stories, so upstairs and downstairs, same thing, split up both ways. Typically our service side, we have our customer service as well as our dealer service, which is on a different level. And our sales side, we're typically split up between our teams Avenue and Delta, and then Paradigm and Valor. But this is all connected to plant number 1, which is housing all of our Valors and right now doing our Avenues. So before we head over to lamination, I just wanted to bring you guys along to our original building. This tan building over here is now home to our maintenance as well as our parts department. There's half of it is our HR building, but originally this is where the first 16 Paradigms were made. So if you can imagine how small those garage doors are, they actually had to finish the units outside before they could ship them out. So they are very, very thankful to be able to get plant number 1, which you guys will see very soon, but definitely need to make bigger garage doors to accommodate those big Paradigms. So welcome to the original plant. So if you can imagine here, Paradigms were being made on one side, and we actually had tables with Ryan, Coley, Ab, Jeremiah, all of our builders, engineers, and everybody else on the other side of this building. So it was really cool, all in one space. They were very thankful to get plant number 1 built up, so that way they could move everything over there into our now corporate office, as well as now plant 1, which is about 120,000 square feet, which is a lot bigger than this.
So just out of curiosity, how many Paradigms could they build in here at one time with offices and everything else?
I think they were only able to build 1 at a time.
Wow.
So it was really, really unique. They did the first 16 or so over here, and then they were able to finally move over there.
Obviously, an idea of an RV starts back in the corporate office with the engineering teams and everybody else there and the conceptual teams and R&D. We got to add that little bonus of seeing where the first Paradigms were built, but now where you start to see an RV actually take shape is right here in lamination.
All right, so this is our lamination building. This here in Alliance is our first and only plant that is temperature and humidity controlled throughout the entire plant. This is a very key process for the entire lamination process. And that's just one of the fun reasons why we built over 13,000 fifth wheels. Still haven't seen a case of delamination. It all starts right here. Over here is going to be where all of our aluminum and whatnot comes in, and then it's all going to be hand welded with our group of amazing guys. Almost everybody that's working in this plant has been here for over 2 years, so they've been absolutely crushing it. But beyond the walls over there is where everything will get pinch and rolled through for that bond process. So right over here is our Azdel. If you're not familiar with Azdel, it's a composite material that we use in our sidewalls. It's twice the insulation compared to Luan wood, which most people use in that sidewall. It's half the weight, and it can't rot, it can't mildew, and it can't delaminate because water can't adhere to it. But this is something that we put on both the outside exterior sidewall as well as on the interior sidewall. And it's crucial for our lamination process here at Alliance. So right over here is where they're actually going to be laying all of the Azdel panels that we just saw momentarily ago. Again, the really great thing about Alliance RV is we're all on one campus and every single building is brand new. So that's why we were able to run temperature and humidity in this building to ensure that we're in the proper bonding temperature and environment for the entire bonding process. So this whole area will be humidity controlled. There's sprinklers up at the ceiling that will be periodically misting to keep that humidity year round, the exact same temperature and humidity.
So it's crazy. Chandler was talking about like the humidity and the misters and all that stuff. It's crazy because when you walk in here, you feel the humidity shoot up all of a sudden. Maybe not on a rainy day, you might not, but on a regular day, especially like a Texas summer day when it's just dry and hot, it's crazy to feel how different it is than outside.
And the last stop in the lamination area is the holding area. So this is where all of our sidewalls will come before they're shipped out to their plants. They're gonna stay here for about a week to ensure that everything's properly bonded together before it's shipped out. They'll be inspected right before they go out, and after that, it's off to the races.
So after lamination, essentially what happens is the materials get dispersed between all the different plants, but we're gonna start in the OG plant 1.
So this is plant number 1. This is connected to that corporate office that we saw a little earlier on. This right now is doing all of our avenues. They're currently in the midst of doing a line roll. Something I like to point about this original building is what Ryan and Coley did differently about this building is they added a lot more feet up on this building to allow us to put windows all throughout. It also gave us a little more space on the mezzanines to be able to actually work while you're up on those mezzanines and store extra products so we can keep everything indoors. It just leads to an overall better product. Right now, again, we're doing the avenues. We're going to be switching over to Valor's here pretty soon.
So one thing you'll also notice is this plant at the moment is doing Avenue and Valor. This is actually one of the last runs of Avenue before it moves on to its new home, and this plant becomes specifically Valor or whatever else they do with in the future, which at the end of the day, who knows? All right, Chandler, I'm putting you on the spot.
All right.
So not the original building, but in what order were all these buildings actually brought online for Alliance?
Yeah, so that original building obviously was there before we even got here. About 6 to 8 months later, we put up Plant 1.
Okay.
Plant 2 is to follow about another 9 months or so.
Okay.
Keep in mind this was all happening during COVID, so a little bit of delays going on. And then we put up Plant 3, which is our newest building. That one came in 22, around the summertime. And then Plant 4, which we'll get to take a sneak peek in, will be done here in July.
Very cool.
Lamination was put up just about right after Plant 1, though.
And Plant 1 is going to be all Valor here very soon. At the moment, it's a rotational between Valor and Avenue.
Yep.
Plant 2 was built, so we saw the original home of Paradigm.
Yep.
And then I'm assuming Plant 1 did Paradigm, everything on a rotation.
Yep.
And now Paradigm has its own dedicated plant because of its popularity and need.
Yep, absolutely.
Plant 3, but we'll talk about Plant 3 later.
So this is plant number 2. Basically, it's the exact inverse of plant number 1. So everything's in a different spot. So if we look like we're in a different spot, that's why. Plant 2 is specifically designed for Paradigms. Paradigm has been the only product that's been in here. Going through the motions of plant number 1, they saw some things that they wanted to tweak, and that's the nice thing about Alliance. Being a small, privately owned company, we're always trying to fix things and tweak them to make them better, and each plant has smaller and smaller tweaks that go along just to make the process a lot smoother. So this plant, although it's it's the exact same size as plant 1, it actually has an additional service bay in the back. Same amount of production stations, but it just gives 12 stations in the back for service. So this is the service bay area for plant number 2. It's the exact same area in square footage as our corporate office, just has some units that need a little touch up. So this is kind of the area that they'll all dedicate to it. It's still in the plant, so if they do need to swap something out, they can just put it right back on the line and take it and go. All right, so this is our third and final plant of this size. Our fourth plant will be about twice the size of this one. So when we get there, you'll really see that difference. But this is a great plant to see the actual head height and the headroom that we have in these plants. And we built all of our plants with about 12 extra feet of clearance, put all those windows through here to allow that natural light to come in. But having these deltas, these smaller guys in here, you can really see that effect. Other than that, though, it's basically the exact same setup as the first 2 plants. This is back to plant 1 design with everything on this side rather than the other. So this is plant 4. Like I mentioned before, this is going to be twice the size of our other plant. So our PDI lines, our pre-delivery inspection area is going to be twice as big. We also installed a rain bay, which we'll get to check out here as well. Super cool. Throw a lot of water on our units before they go. So this is the inside, the production area of plant number 4. You can tell just by looking at it, we have a lot of room in here. It's a double-sided line, so that means there will be 2 stations of units going down at the same time. Now, when we originally start up this plant, it's just going to be avenues that are going to be running through here. And as the future, we continue to expand. I don't know what's coming, but it'll be something great, and it'll go on this side of the line as well. So Ryan and Coley really like to take care of us here at Alliance. So this is actually our sauna room here at Alliance. Well, sauna room, rain bay, whatever you want to call it. This is actually for all of our units that will come through. This is where they'll get 10,000 gallons of water pumped on them from every single angle here, just to make sure there's no leaks, no voids in the seals or anything like that. So any sort of test that we do at Alliance, we'll do smoke tests on all of our units. We'll do shaker tests on all of our units. And now we have the rain bay that we're going to do. So we're just continuously evolving. This is one of the nice things about building your own factories is we can do whatever we want. So something that we've started to install in our newer plants is our shake test. So this simulates a coach driving down the road. You're shaking, doing all that fun stuff, trying to shake loose any trim or anything that would come off during transits. That way we can reinforce it here rather than later. So I keep talking about the future and what that looks like. Well, this is really what the future looks like. All this land behind us here is still owned by Alliance RV, so we have a ton of room to grow, and we're going to continue to do that and service our customers and just keep making great RVs.
So that's going to do it for our big tour of the entire Alliance campus. And like Chandler said, there's always room for more things. So I'm excited to see what's next, because I do feel like with Alliance, there's always something next.
Yeah, there's really always something on the horizon. So I'm looking forward to the future.
Yeah, man. Man, thank you so much for showing us around. I really appreciate the time, and we can't wait to see what's next from Alliance.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to everything that's coming around the corner, and can't wait to see what's on the horizon.
If you want to learn more about anything going on at Alliance RV, you can check them out at alliancerv.com. In addition to that, they go to practically every show out there. Obviously, they have the big ones like the Tampa, Hershey, and Quartzsite. You guys go to Quartzsite.
Yep, I was there this year.
There you go. So if you want to see one in person, you can also check out your local dealership. Again, go to alliancerv.com. All that information is there, as well as your local dealer. I'm going to go figure out how I'm going to get back to Texas now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week en route back to Texas. Bye, Mom.